If you're parenting an autistic child who asks sex ed questions, the second the thought appears loudly and publicly with no sense of timing, this video's for you. And if you've watched my previous video that's about responding to private questions, this one follows straight on from that. I'm Kath, I'm an autistic ADHD parent, and I have worked in sexual health for decades. And I see this moment come up for families all the time. Let's talk about why this happens and what actually helps. This isn't about rudeness or poor manners. It's about how some brains process information. Many autistic and other neurodivergent kids think very literally, and many move quickly from thought to speech. Many don't pause to check if questions are okay before asking. So when a question appears in their brain, it often comes straight out of their mouth. And public places make this harder because there's noise, people, and also pressure. Parents usually feel like they have to answer questions immediately. And most of the time, trouble comes when we're panicked, not when, bleh. Let's go back. And most of the trouble we face as parents actually comes from the panic and not the question itself. And look, I've been there myself and I've supported many families through this sort of thing as well. I actually do boot camps on answering questions. So if you're on my email list, you'll get an email about the boot camp. I do it about 3 or 4 times a year. So you're in the supermarket or you're driving in the car and a loud question lands. People are around. You might have your mother-in-law in the front seat of the car and your mind goes blank. Some parents will say way too much, some parents will freeze, and some shut it down harder than they meant to. Now, if that's been you, what I want you to do is to pause. You're not doing harm, you just need a plan, and you're just reacting because you're not prepared. So next time, or in that moment, try not to shush or scold them, and try not to joke it away. Also, don't lie or change the subject as well. What we want to do is put a boundary in place. So it's not about, we also want to make sure that what we're not doing is we don't want to give them a quick answer to that question as well. And also, it's not about saying, oh, we'll talk about that later, or you can talk to your father about that one, is a common one that parents tell me they say. Because if you're going to say, we'll talk about it later, and you never do, that actually gives kids that message that that's a topic that you don't want to talk about, which is problematic because we actually want our kids to come to us with these questions. We want to be askable parents. So when we react in those ways, what it actually happens is it creates confusion and also shame, and that's not what we want. So what can help you in this situation is to have a calm response that you can use every time. This is a script that I want parents to practice. That's a good question. This isn't the best place or time to talk about it. How about we talk when we get home? You're not in trouble for asking. And that's it. That's all we really need to say. Try to keep your voice neutral and everyday. Make sure there's no whispering. You don't have to do any explaining in public either. It's just sharing that information with your child and then answering the question when you get home. And look, this response, it does several things at once. It shows that curiosity is welcome. It also protects your privacy as well and other people's, and it keeps you as a safe person for them to turn to. And it makes what happens next clear as well. Because privacy is a sex ed skill, it's not a shutdown. And for literal thinkers, knowing when the conversation will happen matters more than answering straight away. But this only works if you do the next part. You need to come back to it. You need to come back to them with the question, even if your child forgets and even if they don't ask again. So try starting with, you know how earlier you asked me a question about so-and-so, and then keep your answer short, keep it age appropriate, and it doesn't need to be a big talk. Just provide them with the facts for the answer. And look, this follow-up matters more than the timing as well. So it's more about making sure that we answer their questions. That's what matters more than whether we answer them straight away or later on. So, something you can also say is very clearly say why that place wasn't suitable. You can give a specific time, not just later. So, you can say, how about we talk about this tonight when we get home? And also expect reminders because that's a part of processing as well. So, very plainly, you can say, you're not in trouble for asking because curiosity is not the problem, it's the timing. And timing is something that you can work on together. So, if your child's asking questions, you're already doing something right. You don't need to have that to stress and worry about that perfect timing. What you actually need is a calm, repeatable plan for us answering their questions. And that's what the next video is about. It's about how to respond when kids ask private questions. And these two videos work together. And please remember, you're not behind. What you're actually doing is you're building safety one conversation or one moment at a time.